So anyway, so I don't suppose we really need to introduce you, do we? Because everybody will know who you are.
Yeah, well, we don't really put our faces to it as such. I think it stops any stigma of, I went to school with her, I don't want her to know that I'm struggling or anything like that. So you don't really know who it is until you come. Which is nice, really. But I'm Rachel, so I found it, if that's the right thing, in just after Christmas. So start of January was when Shed Table was born.
I think that's when I first saw it. Like I said to you, So I think I saw one of the early posts and I was like, wow, it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
And I know that one of the things that you and I have talked about is this, I suppose, the difficulty that you've got in terms of you're trying to do two things at once. Like the idea of providing a free meal, like that's incredible as a thing to do for your community. But beyond that, not like beyond it just being a free meal, the bit that took me originally was this attempt to try and bring people together, irrespective of what your actual situation is.
That's the most important part, I think.
Yeah. I think that's my estimation is that's maybe the bit that you're struggling with.
Yeah. We're not struggling now. We do 50 a week now, but week one, no one turned up.
Really?
Yeah, we catered for 50 people and no one came. And I think there was a huge stigma around, I'm not going to admit I can't afford a dinner, or I'm not really that lonely, or there's people worse off than me. We got a lot of that. I don't really feel like I'm deserving of this. And no one came, and we were devastated because we'd pushed it so hard on the marketing side, and I was like, why does no one want to do this? And then it transpired that actually people were just really scared to expose themselves.
Definitely.
And there's no means testing. You don't walk through the door and we go, oh, are you struggling financially? Are you lonely? Are you depressed? We don't care why you're here.
No.
We've got people that are very financially well off here that have lost their husbands and had Christmas Day on their own. And now they come here every Thursday and they'll never be on their own again. And that's sort of what it's about.
That was a bit that really sort of caught my attention. Is just that modern life is everything's so busy and everything's so as like you're trying to feed kids and stuff. And you've got stuff to do and you've got to get on with stuff. And there is obviously with everything becoming more digitized and people becoming more kind of isolated. That was the bit that really sort of caught my attention.
That's it. And we've had the most gorgeous messages from people that come and see us, and then they message us that night and they're like, I just laughed and laughed. We discussed, when we went to school 50 years ago, or it turns out our grandparents knew each other, and little things like that. And now I wish you'd have come at the start in terms of you could see the development of people coming in going, hi, it's so nice to see you.
Well, that's the
when they were all strangers at the start.
Obviously, I've just literally walked through that door for the first time, and that is always, in any situation, daunting. That's always the worst thing, isn't it? Walking through the door for the first time.
Absolutely.
It's always. And so I suppose that was one of the first things that I thought when I walked through the door is, how does it, or maybe you don't get involved at all, how does it sort of pan out when you walk through the door for this? Do you sort of orchestrate it a little bit?
Well, so it's like a restaurant in that they get table service, but we won't sit people together. Some people come as a family and want to stay as a family and interact with no one else. They just want their dinner.
Yeah.
And that's fine. If someone walks in and we know everyone now, but say, for example, 2 new people came in tonight and we sort of said, do you want to share your table? Oh, yes, we'd love to share our table.
Yeah.
And then I know to sit them with other sociable people. I wouldn't sit them with a family that want to be on their own, for example. So you do sort of gauge who you're speaking to as they first come in, and you sit sort of like-minded people together, and that's how the conversations start. And you go in, and I don't know if you felt a real sort of buzz and atmosphere in there. It wasn't awkward. No one turned around and looked at you.
No. That was probably say that was the first thing that came to my mind when I walked through the door. Is I suppose it's more or less what I expected.
Quite relaxed.
It's quite relaxed, quite chilled out,
quite noisy.
But I suppose that's you're going back to your sort of human nature thing. When you walk in, especially if you're walking on your own, you're looking at a group, like you're looking at all those tables in there, and you're thinking, where am I going to sit?
Yeah.
Which group am I going to? I don't know any of these
like
people.
High school again, where you're like, oh my god, I'm going to go and eat my lunch in the toilet because there's no one there.
I suppose when you are an adult, you don't have to deal with that sort of thing so much anymore.
Yeah, and it is out of
not many people push themselves into that kind of.
That's it. But once they do, we've never, touch wood, had anyone come and go, I'm not coming back there.
No. Well, I say, as you say, once you've walked through the door, once you've got sat at a table, and once you've met the first person, it's like it's like jumping off the diving board, isn't it? Once you've done, you're in, and you're.
Yeah, and I think if anyone was wondering, I don't know if it's for me or not, or I don't financially need a free dinner. You don't have to have it for free. You can contribute to your meal.
So that was it. Like,
you are deserving, to be here.
It was more about the social side of it. That was what I found really interesting. Was as I explained to you in the messages I sent to you, like at the moment my routine is Thursdays is I'm always cooking for this group of people.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yeah, we could say, I think I said to you, we had that conversation. We should go, we should try that. And
then you probably thought, oh, we don't need it.
Well, it probably was more the fear, more than showing that you don't need it, which I understand some people would definitely be. For me personally, it would literally be that first walking through the door.
Yeah.
That would be the tricky bit. And I know you've got somebody here tonight doing a little video to sort of show more
that
people.
It's, like not a soup kitchen vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's more like a restaurant.
But I thought that's why I'd like to speak to you really to sort of get that feeling of
it's just community coming together. And there are,
because people get into their little clubs and things, don't you? If you play golf or you play football or you
don't really go out of it,
and that's it. You've got your little set. Whereas this is very much more open. Yeah. Which is the bit that's really interesting.
Yeah. And there's all walks of life together in here.
Yeah, in theory, you could end up sitting next to somebody who's completely different age to you, completely different life experience, which is always fascinating. Like that's.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dexter that comes here, his mum, they come every week and they love it. But they don't sit with young ones.
No.
They love going in with the older ones and listening to the stories, and old people are brilliant with kids. So, she gets him looked after while she has a dinner in peace. So perfect.
It's interesting, I suppose, because I don't think I said this to you anyway, but I am naturally not very sociable. I know people probably find that hard to believe. I know, people find that hard to believe. You and
my husband will get on very well.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? I say, because I've done this, it's not the first time I've done it either. I probably look like somebody who is naturally very sociable.
Yeah, but it's got out of your comfort zone.
Well, I know that I'm quite good at talking to people once I get going.
Yeah.
But I don't go to the pub.
Yeah, you look nervous coming in. You did look nervous. I thought, we're not going to get you alive, don't worry.
And that's it. It goes back into that kind of root, like human fear of people you don't know, basically.
That's it. And that's the reason we've got Alicia in filming tonight, is just to show that you open the door, no one looks. Not that we don't care, we do care.
They've got their own little bubble already, and you could be in that bubble if you just...
Absolutely, just take that step and come. And I find loneliness and isolation is at an all-time high. People are, and it's not a bad thing, but people are becoming notoriously selfish and wrapped up in their own lives. We all do it. I've got a business.
Once you get down the wormhole of YouTube,
2 kids, I've got my husband, and I come home, I shut my door, and I lock the world out, and I think, I've got enough going on in my own life. When actually, if everyone just sort of went, well, what can we do here to help a little bit, which is what my team have done now, and we're an excellent team, if I do say so myself. But it's one evening a week, and it's changed some of those people's lives.
It's incredible what you've done in a practical sense, because so maybe we can go back there. So it was your idea originally?
Yeah, so there was a lady posted on a Facebook page and said, I've lost my husband, I've got nowhere to go for Christmas. And I was like, no, we're not living like that in 2026, 5, whatever. Let's come up with something. And
so you came up with this idea, and then the next step is probably
getting the team together.
Yes, exactly. Like, as somebody I know, I've been involved with running clubs and different things. Like that next step, so you organised it.
Yeah.
You must be a bit bonkers. Yeah. So how many people did you get involved? And you basically just...
There's like 10 of us.
Harangued them all and twisted arms and
No, I put a post up saying I need some volunteers. Help me. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we got loads of people message. But then, I'm going to be honest, when it comes to actually committing to something, people are like, oh, actually, I don't think I can do that.
That's the bit that I was
oh my God, like all these people are dropping out. And then I was quite fussy because I wanted a safeguarding officer on site. I wanted a DBS check person on site. I wanted a chef. I wanted first aid trained, so that we could cover every eventuality for our insurance more than anything. And we were very lucky that everyone I messaged, one of them had a skill that we needed. And then we've got a few people that come with very challenging additional needs. And I have a little girl who's nonverbal, so I can communicate with those quite well, without them feeling humiliated and embarrassed. So we sort of came together, and we all have our own little skill. And it is amazing. I know that sounds quite big-headed, but what we've done does make you feel good. You go in there and you're like, oh my God, this is their favourite time of the week.
It really is amazing. And not so much of the idea, I suppose you could say, oh, well, I saw this somewhere else, or this, that's just a good idea, isn't it? But the actual...
putting it together.
The execution of it is phenomenal, as I say. Anybody who's ever run a club or an organisation or anything like that will know...
The admin's a nightmare. I will mention, though, that I went to number 16 Butchers on Victoria Street back in January, and I said, I need £12 of statements. And he was like, bloody hell, what are you making? I said, I'm doing lasagna for 50 people. He said, what's that for? And I explained, and within an hour of me leaving the shop, he rang me and he said, you'll never pay for meat with us ever again. We'll give it you for free every week. And he provides our meat for us for free.
Wow.
Every single week. It's over £100 a week in meat.
But I suppose then that goes back to this thing of like,
what can I do?
Well,
to help?
I can't remember who said it now. So there's some sort of philosophical position of, if you don't believe you can do it, then you can't.
Yeah.
If you believe you can,
yeah,
then you're already moving in the right direction.
There. Exactly, yeah.
And that's not to diminish what you've actually done.
Oh no, but putting it together was the hard part. Doing it's
easy.
We know what we're doing. We've been doing it a long time now. We're 6 months in nearly, but putting it together, it was like, what am I doing? Like, I've got 2 kids, I've got a husband, I've got a business. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But actually, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Must be bonkers.
Oh no, I'm a bit mental. Yeah, very eccentric. A bit odd, but aren't we all?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because today I went through my Manx Radio stuff, and one of the things they do for you when you go to Manx Radio as a candidate is they give you the 3 candidate questions. And last time, so I did my bit of homework, of course. Last time, one of the questions was, what makes you relatable as a candidate?
And you were like,
and I was like, that
is
a terrible question because
you're a dad.
The truth is that people who stand for election are not relatable.
No,
they're
not.
bonkers.
Yeah,
like, hello.
Yeah.
So like,
no, but
anybody who tries to pretend like they're normal when they've stood for election, it's.
We'll say that in part of your interview. That'll get some votes.
So the next question that we probably should just go, because it was the other thing that sort of popped in my mind, is how the hell are you doing this financially? And you've sort of answered that a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, at the start, we did a GoFundMe in January when everyone was skint and no one had any money, and then January payday it started to build up to get us going to buy the initial sort of dry ingredients and the meat, because originally we thought we got to pay for the meat. And then now what happens is our clientele, service users, customers, whatever you want to call them, the ones that can afford to pay for their dinner do.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that carries over for the ingredients for the following week.
Right.
This week's an incredibly expensive week because of what we've put on the menu, and it's cost a fortune. But
so you can kind of even
next
that
week's
out.
free because we've got the Dovecote Tea Rooms doing it for us free.
Yeah.
So it evens itself out.
Yeah.
We are in the process of registering as a charity just because it means that local businesses can get more involved. With helping local charities. But that's how we do it. So basically anyone that can leave a little donation in an envelope does, and then we pay for the ingredients the next week with that.
And so do you suggest a figure?
No. Some people put a couple of 5 pences in. Some people put £20 note in, and some people don't put anything in, and it's anonymous, and they're left at the table, and you leave, and then we go and collect them, so we won't know who's left what. But we would never suggest a figure. We wouldn't put a price on this at all.
That's cool. No, that's cool. So I did ask you this as well. I think, where are you going from here? Like, is it 50 people? That's pretty incredible.
We're full.
So you can't really.
So we can't really expand anymore. Milkweed's Court have been fantastic.
They build a bigger building now.
I know, yeah. We're kind of at capacity here. We could do another sitting. But what I'd like, ideally, is for anyone watching this that goes, oh, I'd love to do that in Douglas, please set it up. We'll come and help initially set it up and then step away again, because we've all got families that mean we couldn't do it more than one night a week. But what we'd love is for the shared table to become the shared table Douglas, the shared table Ramsey, the shared table Castletown, and everyone comes together.
That's also pretty impressive that you're not going to go and try to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I would do. Once I can do this, and I can spin another plate, and I can do that.
Absolutely. No, have a mental breakdown on the way. No, people can do it. Use our logo, use our idea, and go and do it yourself. And we'll mentor them for as long as they need us to. But I'd love for it to spread around the island. I think that people are too wrapped up in their own lives. And again, it's not a negative. It's just the way life is now. You don't love thy neighbour like you used to. You know yourself. Your kids don't play out on the street and go and have dinner at your neighbour's house.
Mine do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they
mine
leave the front door wide open.
I've got a 14-year-old and she sits in the bedroom and listens to rock music.
No,
but in general, I don't
find... in a bit.
When I was growing up, my parents wouldn't see me. I'd be out having dinner at anyone's house.
Exactly
it's not like that anymore. You don't really check up on your neighbours as much as you should. So that's what this is for, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Thanks.
That is really incredible. Well, I mean, I'm going to try and get them here, but maybe that's not a good thing because you're already full.
Oh no, if we've got some space at tables, well, we'd love to have you.
Actually, just another question that I was going to ask. Actually, what do you do about vegetarians?
We cater for them.
Okay, so there's always an extra.
Yeah.
Wow.
So tonight they've got stuffed spinach and ricotta pasta if you're a veggie, because you can't have the chicken.
No.
Yeah. But it is a little boy's birthday, and he's going at 6:30, so I'm going to go and do his birthday cake for him.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Lovely to meet you. Best of luck with it all. Yeah.